Most English learners think they have a vocabulary problem.
But a lot of the time, that's not the real problem.
You study grammar. You memorize words. You pass tests.
And then one day, a native speaker says something simple.
And your brain just can't process.
You hear the sounds, but the meaning never arrives.
It's like your brain is loading.
If that has ever happened to you, there's something important you should know. It doesn't mean you're bad at English.
And it surely doesn't mean you're slow.
It means you're running into something most learners never get warned about.
Spoken English is a completely different world from textbook English.
And until your ears learn how that world works, English can sound like noise. Today, we're going to show you why that happens.
And more importantly, how your brain can learn to hear English naturally, step by step. And near the end, we are doing a quick listening exercise together.
So, stay with us.
First of all, let's talk about what actually causes this problem.
A lot of learners say the same thing.
English is too fast. In textbooks, English looks neat. Every word is separate. Every sound is clear.
But in real life, English is connected. It all runs together.
Yeah, the words kind of hold hands.
That's a great way to put it. They hold hands. They blend together. And sometimes, they almost disappear.
Meanwhile, your brain is trying to catch every single word, one at a time.
But natural speech doesn't really work like that.
Right. It's more like a flow. More like a river than a bunch of separate pieces.
So the real skill isn't just knowing vocabulary.
It's learning how to recognize English in motion.
And that's exactly what listening practice trains. Here's something we see all the time.
First, people study grammar rules.
Then, they read a lot.
Then, they memorize vocabulary lists.
And all of that helps, no question.
But then, they do almost no real listening.
Or they listen once in a while, but only with subtitles in their own language.
Then, real conversation hits them like a truck.
And they think, I've studied for years. Why can't I understand people?
But the answer is actually simple. Your ears haven't had enough training with real spoken English.
Reading trains your eyes.
Listening trains your ears.
Two different skills.
And you need both. Let's tell a quick story.
Meet Nadia.
Nadia had studied English for about 5 years. She was serious about it too. Notebooks, flashcards, grammar apps, all of it.
She could write emails in English. She could pass tests.
Then she moved to a new city for work. One morning, she went into a coffee shop.
Simple situation, right? Coffee. Nothing complicated.
The barista smiled and said something like, "Hey, how's it going? What can I get you today?"
And Nadia completely froze.
Because in her head, English sounded like, "Hello, how is it going? What would you like today?" Nice and clear.
But what she heard was just one long sound.
So she gave the classic response.
Sorry?
The barista repeated it a little more slowly. Nadia understood, maybe 20%.
She ordered something kind of random, sat down, and just felt awful.
Not because coffee mattered that much.
But because she suddenly realized, I know English on paper, but I can't really follow it in real life.
That night, she did something different.
She didn't open a grammar book.
She didn't study a vocab list.
She put on a short English audio clip.
Just 10 minutes.
And she listened with one goal. Not to catch every single word, but to get used to the rhythm.
The next day, she did it again. Another 10 minutes.
A week later, something started to shift. Not magic, just progress.
She began noticing common chunks like, "How's it going? What do you want? Do you wanna?" Kind of. A lot of.
2 months later, she went back to that same coffee shop.
The barista said, "Hey, how's it going? What can I get you?"
And this time, Nadia understood.
Not because the barista suddenly spoke differently.
But because Nadia's brain had adapted.
That's the key. Regular listening changes the way you hear English.
Let's make this really clear. Listening practice builds 3 big things.
First, sound recognition. You learn what words actually sound like in real speech.
Second, speed tolerance. Your brain stops freaking out when English comes at you fast.
And third, automatic meaning.
That one is huge.
Because a lot of learners translate everything in their heads.
And that slows you down.
Exactly. It's like trying to run with a heavy backpack on.
But when you listen a lot, your brain starts connecting sound directly to meaning.
Not perfectly, of course. You'll still miss things sometimes.
Everybody does.
But you can still follow the message. And that's what real communication is all about. All right, quick practice time. If you're listening right now, say these with us.
We'll say the sentence the textbook way first, and then the way it often sounds in real life.
First sentence, textbook. What do you want to do? Real life? What do you want to do?
Not everybody says it exactly like that, but you'll hear versions of it all the time.
Let's break it down. Repeat after me. What'ya?
What'ya?
Wanna.
Wanna.
Do.
Do?
Now put it together. What do you want to do?
Nice.
Second sentence, textbook. Did you eat yet? Real life? Jeet yet?
This one surprises a lot of learners.
Because did you can sound like j or j, and then it blends right into eat.
Repeat after us. Jeet yet?
Jeet yet?
Great. One more. Textbook. I am going to call her. Real life? I'm gonna call her.
Repeat. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna.
Call her.
Call her.
Now the full sentence. I'm gonna call her.
Perfect.
This is exactly why listening matters.
Because books don't always show you how English really sounds when people are relaxed and speaking naturally.
So now the big question. What should you actually do every day?
Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be some huge study plan.
Here's a habit we really recommend. 10 to 15 minutes of listening every day.
Not 2 hours once a week.
Daily is better.
Because your brain learns through repetition.
And pick content you actually like. That part matters.
If you like sports, listen to sports clips.
If you like business, listen to short business interviews.
If you like stories, find podcasts with simple storytelling.
Just make sure the level is right. If it's way too hard, you're probably not going to stick with it.
A good rule is this. You should be able to understand the general idea, even if you miss some details.
And here's one more tip. Listen to the same short audio more than once.
First time, just listen and enjoy.
Second time, try to catch more words.
Third time, copy 1 or 2 phrases you liked.
That's it. Simple and realistic.
People ask this all the time. Should I use subtitles?
Great question. Subtitles can help if you use them the right way.
Here's a simple method.
First, listen without subtitles. Just focus on the overall meaning.
Then listen again with English subtitles to check what you heard.
If you use subtitles in your own language, just be careful.
Because then your brain usually switches to reading instead of listening.
And if your goal is listening practice, that can slow your progress down.
Let's finish with this.
If English sounds like noise to you right now, it will not stay that way forever.
Your brain adapts. It learns patterns. It learns rhythm.
And one day, you'll hear a sentence that used to feel impossible.
And suddenly you'll think, wait, I got that.
That moment feels amazing.
And usually, it doesn't come from one huge study session.
It comes from small, consistent practice.
So remember,
Reading helps you recognize words,
grammar helps you build sentences.
but listening helps you understand real English, real speed, real emotion, real life.
Tell us in the comments, what's hardest for you when it comes to listening?
Fast speech, accents, slang, words connecting together?
And if this episode helped you, share it with a friend who's learning English too.
All right, see you next time.
Bye.